So to understand the significance of this, we also need to adjust our app.php routing. So let's go back to the resource pack and open up the 30th step, app.php integrating controller resolver. Go ahead and copy the code and paste it over the app.php file that you have and save it. Let's compare this file with our previous app.php file. So I'm going to compare step 30 to step 27. So we have an example that's commented out up here, but this line is almost identical to this one up here with one important difference. This one is getting past year, whereas this one was getting past request. Now in our previous code, the controller always took a single parameter for request, and so we had to support that here. We also needed that value in order to get the year from the attributes here. But with the controller resolver, all of the arguments get passed as parameters. So we can use year, for example. So that means we no longer need the request variable. We simply check is leap year on that year. Now if we wanted, we could grab the request to use inside of our controller function. And this is how we do it right here in this commented out section. In order to pass request in, we have to type hint it, which means that we put the name of the class before the actual variable. We'll talk about type hinting more in future examples where we have a bit more control over what's getting passed here, but the basic idea is that it helps the method know exactly what type of object it's expecting for that parameter. That's useful for other people using that method, so they know exactly what to pass to it, but PHP can also look at the structure of these parameters and determine some things from it in order to pass the parameters in the right order and right structure to the function. So that's what's happening here. The order of the arguments doesn't actually matter. We could have year first and then request afterwards. The controller resolver will take care of this in the background. So the other change here is that in our controller, instead of creating an instance of our controller class, we're instead using this syntax here to specify the controller method and the controller class. Now we're using the double colons here, and you may recognize this from when we've called static functions from within classes. But the similarity there is incidental. This is actually just a structure that the controller resolver uses to determine that this is a method inside of a class. By using this, we no longer instantiate an object every time we create a new route. An object of this type will only get created now whenever a route is called that uses it. Okay, so this is looking good.